Welcome, everybody, to your midweek episode of the WrestleSlam podcast with your team here from WrestleSlam. Don't forget, it is the only place for your news, reviews, booze, and who is inducting Taker into the Hall of Fame? Guess who knows? We fucking do. I think we're going to have to lead straight in with that, guys. Let's be honest. I know we all kind of on our last podcast, we had our ideas of who was going to be tasked with bringing him in. And I suppose it's probably for or against this, but breaking news, just fresh off, credit to Pat McAfee's show, currently ongoing as well. Vince is chewing the curd there with the lads, but it's actually going to be Vincent Kennedy McMahon who is inducting Taker into the Hall of Fame. So now, a surprise, but not a surprise as well. I'm kind of happy about it because Vince will not be able to hold his shit together, and it's very hard to see Vince when he's not composed. Do you know what I mean? So even, like, no matter what you think of him, love him or hate him, and, like, it doesn't really matter. I just think that when you see someone like that who comes across as sometimes stone cold, like, you know, pardon the pun, to be that emotional about another person, I think it's just, obviously it makes for great viewing, let's not lie, but I think it's going to be hard for him to keep his composure. Tell us, Billy. Oh God Christ, Billy, I forgot to tell Monty you were here. Sorry, I got so upset. I was so excited about Vinny K bringing Taker in. We are humbled and honoured to be joined by the one and only Billy Bedlam from Phoenix Wrestling. Woo-woo! Welcome, Billy.
Thanks a million. It's great to be back. I was like getting the call from WrestleSlam, to be fair.
Absolutely. We hope you'll answer that call. Now, tell us, what do you make of Vince inducting Taker?
As you were saying it there, it makes sense. Like, I only just found out about it a while ago as well. I mean, when the two times you see Vince, really the emotional side of Vince was during the Andre the Giant documentary, and when they asked him about Undertaker and he couldn't even talk, like.
Yeah.
So as much as I would have liked, I was just saying earlier, Kane would have been a good choice. Vince is the only choice really, because the two of them are so close. Like, so and you were right. Watching, it won't be scripted. That'll be pure emotion. I'm getting tingles there now. I literally just thinking about the speech. It'll be a real moment, I think. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, glued to it. Amazing. Mick, happy with this?
Yeah, very happy. Same as yourself, I thought the immediate choice was going to be Glenn Jacobs to induct him in. But obviously Glenn has been in the headlines for the wrong reasons this week, you know, so can't see that happening. But aside from that, you know, Vince is, I suppose he's the obvious choice, given that, as you said, that he's so close with Undertaker. I reckon he's going to want to absolutely nail it as well. So I imagine he's going to be well prepared for the speech. And I think it's going to be it'll be a nice little finish to Undertaker on our screens, hopefully.
Totally. And a nice freshen as well to the arses that'll be sat since since SmackDown for the Hall of Fame before it.
Yeah.
It's a long ceremony, mate, and you'll be numb. So I think it'll be nice to freshen it up a bit. Phil, on that note, do you think anyone else is going in?
I really hope not, but there was talks of it. But I really hope it's just that's it. It wasn't. It's just Andre the Giant is the only other guy that's been the same. Just one guy. If anyone deserves it, it's Undertaker. So I can't see anyone else going in.
It would fall a little bit flat though, because I mean, if he goes last, you're waiting for that moment. If he goes first, you're fucked following it. You know what I mean? When you really care about anything else, you know what I mean? Because you'll be exhausted after watching that. Like, that's going to be emotionally draining.
But as we said before as well, like, there's a chance to do the both nights with him, Badass and Undertaker, night 1 and 2.
Oh, you know what? Mick Foley now and just come out and everything, like.
Oh, but you remember we were on about it where they bring him out each night. Like, he'd come out as Biker Taker on night 1, and then he'd be the Undertaker character on night 2 for WrestleMania.
Could do. Sure, I hope they make a spectacle of the whole thing. They have to. He deserves it. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Not that fucking the lackluster one that we got during #pandemic. So, we need a little bit more for our boy, I think.
We really do.
They're cutting it a bit short,
when is
ads
the
coming
Hall
up.
of Fame, lads? Just sorry to cut across.
It's
When
the
is the Hall of
SmackDown
Fame?
before. It's the SmackDown
Really?
before
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
So it'll be like just before WrestleMania the same night, or is it going to be the Thursday night? Or
Friday night. Friday.
Friday
Friday
after
night, sorry.
The
SmackDown.
Okay,
Friday
okay, okay.
directly
Yeah.
after SmackDown. So
Gotcha.
they'll have 2 hours of SmackDown and then they'll go straight into the Hall of Fame, which is approximately 11 years long.
Mhm.
So it's going to be, so hopefully if it is just Taker, then I think,
Well, they said the runtime for Hall of Fame will be 90 minutes, so that's all they have. So
the runtime for
the
it.
runtime will be 90 minutes.
Okay,
So
right,
there won't
okay.
be many people in the Hall of Fame with them if there's anybody. They're leaving it very short to announce it, so it could be just a celebrity person like Fred Durst or somebody like that who did his entrance music or something like that, or Cyndi Lauper, or maybe just throw one person in.
Yeah.
True.
Maybe. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be 89 minutes of saying thank you, Taker, and then it'll just be a minute of
Well,
Vince.
in fairness, it takes them about fucking 30 minutes to get out to the ring. So,
and that's without the gimmick. But yeah, it's really, really cool. And of course, congratulations again to Taker. As I said, it's all well deserved, and he deserves his big night. He deserves his prom night. Do you know what I mean? He really does. So yeah. Moving away from that slightly, massive news last night, lads, from Tony Khan on Dynamite. Absolute huge news. Now, I know that we all kind of were in agreement that if it wasn't Ring of Honor, that there was going to be some kind of working relationship with New Japan, but just to come out and say that he's now the owner of Ring of Honor is just, I know people are like, this isn't in line with, the return of CM Punk to professional wrestling and of course to AEW. But let's be fair, this is absolutely huge for everybody involved. Yeah. Regardless, you're always going to get the casual fans who want a big name announcement. I don't know if you could get a bigger name announcement than acquiring Ring of Honor, let's be honest.
But the thing is, the minute Carrie Silkin was there, was it 2 weeks ago, something was up. That man, he just showed his face randomly out of nowhere. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. Hindsight's a great thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? All the signs were there, but
it's the best thing they could have done, and it's great because they have too many wrestlers and they need to create more shows, I suppose.
No, absolutely. I think it's fantastic news. Yeah. Great for everybody, great for the industry, great for the brand like Ring of Honor. Geez, I remember Ring of Honor, the wrestling channel 15 years ago. You know what I mean?
Superb. I have a load of old shows as well there.
Yeah. And it's great for workers as well, and another, as you say, there's loads of wrestlers out there, and they're people have been released left, right, and centre from different places. So it's always a Ring of Honor. A good, strong Ring of Honor is great.
But the interesting thing is, Deanna is their women's champion.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
So there's just so many directions, layers to this. It's crazy. And it's a really exciting time to be an OG wrestling fan, it really is. And even the library that they're acquiring as well is some of the matches on that library are phenomenal. Of course, Bryan Danielson is in probably 50% of them, let's be honest. You know what I mean? He's in some of the really, really great matches for Ring of Honor. But even the likes of Samoa Joe and CM Punk, the likes of that maybe those casual fans have never seen before, and just open their eyes to the art that is professional wrestling, as opposed to the theatrics as well, which obviously is a big part of it, but where it all stemmed from. And even Nigel McGuinness has some crackers as well, so there's so much there. Really, really exciting time, so can't wait. And surely leading to a streaming deal with the HBO is in the word, but surely it's heading that way with the content they'll have.
Mm-hmm. I saw a rumor today, whether it's true or not, it's probably just a rumor that they may reach out to Samoa Joe and William Regal to maybe general manage Ring of Honor.
Stop! No, don't tease me like that.
No, I'm with you, Billy. I swear to God.
It's the way to do it.
I remember it might have been Louis Danger from Talk Sport. I had it up or something, but they said that William Regal and Samoa Joe, imagine them running it and put it on a Monday night just to piss off Raw. And
be amazing.
Unbelievable.
Right? I hope your boy has got his shit together and that he's right, because I'm sorry. The crime of the century is that William Regal's not working. It's a fucking crime against humanity.
He'll be back pretty soon.
Oh, I love him. I miss him. So, wow. God, lads, the thinking caps are on. It's fabulous. Speaking of other few bits that came out of AEW last night, guys, we had the segment for MJF and Punk, just because obviously we're all looking forward to this match, right? Okay, what's coming up and how it's going to go. And we had mixed reactions to our predictions of how we think this match is going to go. Mick flying the CM Punk flag, right? MJF reeled us all in. Dirty bastard reeled us all in. He didn't. We all knew he was bluffing. And came out with a low blow. The dirty disciple. And hung him up with the dog collar. Tell me, Mick, is CM Punk taking this at Revolution?
Oh yeah, 100%. He's 100% taking it. I just feel like I think this is the best story in American wrestling right now by a long shot between MJF and CM Punk. And it feels like it's not even coming towards. It feels like it has plenty of mileage to go, or has the potential to go a lot further than it is. And I think the best way to do that is to have CM Punk get his win back. So later on, maybe you can leave it alone for a while, and then they can revisit that feud a little later down the line. Maybe after MJF inevitably wins the AEW title. It just feels like a foregone conclusion at this stage, and maybe then they can do a title match for number 3. And like Tony Khan loves these kind of things. He loves to have something, leave it alone for a while, then come back to it. He loves that long-term type of thing.
He's got his flavors, definitely.
Yeah, I think there needs to be an excuse to do a third later on down the line, and Punk winning at Revolution is as good an excuse as any to do it.
Mm-hmm. Billy, what you think? Is Punk taking this, or are we going full throttle with MJF?
I think you're right there. It's a great example of long-term storytelling. Like, to be honest with you, and I think they're building it up very nicely. They're building up MJF really nicely. I mean, he could be one of the next big things for the next 10 years. Like if it's done right, It's hard to know what way it'll go. I'm very impressed with Tony Khan's story writing of over the last while. Like, it's hard to know which way it's going to go, but it's intriguing. Like, really, really enjoying watching it. Like,
yeah. And that's the huge part of it, is that, some things are so predictable. A lot of manias you can predict. You know exactly what's going to happen, and sometimes you might get the odd swerve, but 9 times out of 10 you would predict most of the matches, right? Or even if you think there's a swerve coming, you know what the swerve is before it even happens. And the fact that we're all guessing and not sure, I'm still rooting for MJF, but the fact that we're all guessing and still not sure is testament to, as you say, the storytelling. It's amazing. Like,
just before we move on, just briefly, it popped up that Vince McMahon asked Pat McAfee on the interview just now if he wanted a match at WrestleMania. Vince said he'll find him a worthy opponent though, but Pat McAfee officially will have a match at WrestleMania this year. Just not, we don't know yet.
Ooh.
Austin Theory.
Surely it will be. Vince won't get in the ring. He'll send the son.
Steve Austin.
Steve Austin. Don't now, Phil, because you know how we feel that Steve Austin needs to be protected now like the fucking shroud of Turin, right? We just need to make sure he is not at all hurt.
The last thing Steve needs is a I don't like non-wrestlers in wrestling matches and WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it, to be honest with you. Sorry for swearing. But definitely not Stone Cold. Jesus Christ, no. He just needs to do his entrance. Put up the finger, get a fucking beer. Do you know what I mean? Fucking do the Lutez press, a couple of punches, stunner, good night. Fucking greatest match of all time. Everyone going home happy. That's all we want to see, just a little nostalgia.
Yeah, because everyone's just going to have their heart in their mouth the whole time and just be terrified. I can't get excited about him at Mania because I'm absolutely petrified for his life. Not just, his injury, but his life. Same with Goldberg. Just keep them apart. Don't want to see it. Also, just before AEW Dynamite last night, our very own homegrown Sesh Martina,
the Phoenix Wrestling Hard Knocks champion.
Ruby Soho. Mother of God, how about that? That's ridiculous. Billy, talk to me.
Unbelievable. I'm delighted for her, to be honest with you. She's a great girl as well, like great ambassador for Ireland, great ambassador for independent wrestling. She's the best to deal with in every aspect. If I can't talk highly enough of her. And she's the Phoenix Wrestling Hard Knocks champion over in AEW. So it's fucking bonkers, absolutely bonkers. And no doubt she's going to, especially now again with the acquisition of Ring of Honor, she's just going to go He's going to see her take off globally, which is amazing and fantastic to see. Yeah. Goosebumps again.
Yeah.
Amazing. We're all so happy for her and so thrilled for her as well. And you know what? She will absolutely fly the flag for Irish wrestling, because she takes such pride in it.
Yeah.
And as well as that, we said it the other night in the podcast as well, there is nobody that can compare to her character. Nobody.
No.
She is completely unique, which is amazing because there's a market for her. And I can't even think the merch. Stop. I just can't. It's unbelievable. And every best wish to her. We're so happy and super proud of her. Super proud.
We can't wait for Maniac 2000 to appear at Double or Nothing.
Oh, Craven Cottage giving it fucking sucks.
Maniac 2000 in Vegas.
Like, amazing, unbelievable. Jesus Christ, we'll have half of Ireland over there. Nobody will have a word of notion of what we're singing, but we'll just keep going.
All you have to do is get the crowd going. Ooh, ooh.
That's it. Unreal. So that was kind of like wrapping up yesterday's events. Swinging a little bit back to WWE for a second as well. Phil, I'll come to you on this.
Yeah.
WWE Network is now no longer available in Russia. Okay. Now, you know yourself, we're not massive political debaters here whatsoever because, look, politics is politics. But from a wrestling standpoint, are we fearful for Dragunov?
Yes, but I don't think it's coming tonight. And that's taped weeks ago, surely.
Yeah, it was pre-taped, but...
yeah, it's a weird one because they're getting a lot of hate at the moment because of the Saudi stuff as well. All over Twitter. Yeah. People are just rambling on them like, if they're going to quit that, they should stop the Saudi shows. But it's probably the best move because everyone's doing it. Like Warner Brothers, everyone, all streaming services are all gone for Russia.
Yeah, and it's not worth like a 10-year multi-million-dollar deal to them either.
No.
You know, so yeah, it's a bit of a thing. Mick, what you think? Should we be worried for Dragunov, or will he just kind of slip under the radar? Hopefully, with just based on his talent.
Honestly, it's so hard to say. It's not something we'd like to speculate on either. Like, cause like,
yeah,
you know, he comes across as a cool dude, you know, and it's his livelihood, and a lot of things can change from him very soon, you know.
Yeah.
But all I can offer is that whatever happens, he lands on his feet and he continues to wrestle to the standard that we all know he can.
Agreed, exactly. Do you know, it's definitely a tough one to call, but
Well, I just personally, like, I know we were all at the Bellator event on Friday up in Dublin, and a couple of the Russian fighters were there, like, and you could hear the boos from the fans just because
booed out of the fucking
they were
arena,
from Russia, like, and you didn't know anything about you knew you didn't really know much about them, like, someone who was part of, you know, Khabib's team, like, you know, when they were supporting McGregor, like, but you know, you wouldn't want to see Dragunov coming out, maybe stand and deliver and getting booed, even though he's the face, just because he's from Russia. Like, it wouldn't be right. Like, he's not playing that character. He's not playing the 80s fucking heel, you know, from
exactly. Yeah. He's not Nikolai Volkov singing the national anthem.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not coming out there going, "I hate America." Like, he's not that type of person at all.
Yeah.
There was just breaking news just there 2 seconds ago. Tyson Fury is coming back to WWE. Literally, just there 2 minutes ago. Yeah.
Himself and Pat McAfee. So
it could be.
Oh my God!
Oh no! Omos needs an opponent for WrestleMania.
Sure, he's fighting.
Tyson
Fury's fighting the 22nd of. Tyson Fury's fighting the world title fight the 22nd of April.
That fight could be cancelled though. That fight could be off because he never showed up for the.
He didn't show up for the press conference.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Jesus, there's scandal in every corner. Like, I mean, you just can't get away from the dramas, can you? There's always something like. Jesus, right. So Christ with himself and Omos now, it's just going to be a load of fucking stiff move and tits everywhere. But look, we'll watch anyway, we'll see what happens, you know. Moving on from that, guys, we have what can only be described as a huge double header of a show coming up this week in Limerick. Words fail me how to describe the card that is coming up. Billy, I'm going to run through some of them, but I'm definitely going to touch base with you on some because some of them are very, very exciting. And some of them were kind of like, what? When we kind of read the card. So we definitely want a bit more info on that and a bit more scandal. And, you know, if you have any juicy bits to drop, that's fine too. We'll take them.
I'll do what I can.
You know, this is it. Like, start all sorts of rumors. So yeah, massive thanks again for joining us because we know that you're a busy man, especially with such a show coming up. So we're very, very honoured to have the voice inside our head with us today. So we have first up Super Slam Saturday. Okay, so that is heading up in the afternoon. And I've got so many notes on this you won't believe. We have Fabio versus Butch Armstrong coming up.
Yep.
Excellent. Invested in that match, very much so. Yeah. And then we also have the Saviors. And they're taking on Club Rock Shandy, a very, very personal favourite of my own, and I believe yourselves as well. We love a bit of Club Rock Shandy. And homegrown hero in Limerick, Steve Savage. Is the old homegrown going to give the advantage to Rock Shandy?
Oh, well, I don't know. If you look at the Savers of LJ Cleary with them, which is he's arguably one of the best wrestlers in the country at the moment, or if not Europe, that isn't signed or anything. You know what I mean? He's phenomenal. Followed closely by Fabio, but I think LJ has that experience level. We're spoiled for choice really in Ireland when we go to make a card like this, that we can call so many great talents from outside Phoenix to bring them in and mix them with the guys that we have to make the shows really cool. But I'm really looking forward to Fabio and Butch. Fabio, I was actually in attendance on Fight Factory on Monday night. When Fabio was wrestling, and it was a fucking masterclass for the Ring of Honor World Title. But Butch Armstrong, you know, he brings his own style. You know, he's around a long time as well, and this is a chance for him to shine and get his name out there. The Saviors and the Saviors is a trio versus Rock Shandy and Steve. So it's probably one of the first times we've seen the Saviors as a trio wrestling. So it'll be interesting to see as well. You know, so that'd be really cool. Couple of debuts as well. I just announced it there earlier on. We've got the Phoenix Limerick's first trainee, Magic Mike Kelly, really good up and comer, trained by Steve Savage, who will be in his corner versus Steve Carvel, Titanic champion. So that's a big step. That's a big step for him. His first match in against the View, Steve Carvel, who's around a long time. He's Titanic champion.
Huge.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and we're bringing back the Rumble.
Yeah,
bring it back to Rumble. Yeah, bring it back to Rumble.
We're going to miss that now.
Well, we are recording just the Rumble from the Kid Show. I'm not recording the whole Kid Show. I'm just recording the Rumble. And that'd be cool. That'd be good crack.
Is that a intergender Rumble, or is it all males? Or
it's all males, just because we're going to keep the women's title and the women apart for the actual for the main show, right? So that'll kind of be our the way it's looking, that'll be our semi-main event. So we'll have Nita Vaughn with a rematch versus Raven Creed, which is going to be class because they had an unbelievable match in Cork.
They did.
Unbelievable, yeah. If you want to think about that for a second, just the reinstatement of the Emperor's title on the night, which wasn't expected. And I got a great pop to see Raven coming out and defeating Nita Vaughn. So that rematch I'm really looking forward to. And then we've got Steve versus Justy in the main as well. So Steve's been waiting a long time to get his title shot. A long time. So we're waiting to see, like, Justy's like this. This is a very hard one if you're looking at it from a neutral point of view. It's very hard one to call. Justy's having a renaissance, like, you know, just added third belt on Monday night. So he's now the Phoenix champion, Irish tag team champion, and the Titanic tag team champion. And then you have Steve, who's busting an absolute gut, who just won the L&D title over in London. So I mean, that's a fucking great matchup, if you ask me. You know, really looking forward to that.
Yeah,
unreal. Yeah. Oh my god, and like Steve's hungry, and he's got that home advantage as well.
Yeah, well, you've seen that at the 4-way back in Limerick whenever Justy won it. Like the fans are so behind Steve, like, you know. And even when Justy won it, you know, the fans, even though they wanted Steve to win it, like they were so happy for Justy as well. Like that you deserve it.
Yeah. We were all delighted for Justy. It's his first singles belt, and he's really put in he's put in the years over the years. He's paid his dues. But he was really, really helpful to me when we first started Phoenix, from a supporting point of view, from a knowledge point of view, from a coaching point of view, everything. He used to come down to take classes. He was very helpful to me and Marion Armstrong when we started this from nothing 4 years ago. Do you know what I mean? We kind of didn't really know what we were up to. So Justy deserves his time, and you know, whether he'll keep the belt now on Saturday remains to be seen.
Oh my God, that's just going to be a match. And do you know what? The respect between the two as well is going to be just like that crowd's going to be well divided. No,
absolutely, yeah.
Speaking of well divided, right? Phil Boyd, is going to be in an unsanctioned boxing match with Graham McCormack.
Yeah.
And has this come out of a Twitter feud, or has Foxy been brushing up the skills that he's calling boxing matches with a judge, or what's going on?
It started back in our very first Phoenix show in Limerick when LJ and More Than Hype, when they were More Than Hype, were beating the shit with Steve, and Steve had an injured knee, right? So G-Train is a good friend of Steve. He's a good friend of Phoenix, local guy, you know what I mean? He comes, a big wrestling fan. He jumped, he shouldn't have, but he jumped into the ring to defend his friend, right? Now, under normal circumstances, you know what happens when fans jump into the ring to get the shit kicked out of them. But you're not going to be doing that to G-Train in Limerick, like, you know what I mean? Because he's a boxer. He fought kill. I never saw Darren Carney and Nathan Martin run so fast. So Phil came from the back to defend his boys. You know what I mean? He was like, "What the fuck are you doing in my world?" kind of thing. So that's kind of where it started, and it's been brewing for a while since. Because Phil was back in Limerick, or back in Phoenix the last time in Cork, and they've just been kind of spatting at each other, and it's escalated since to then. So, they've asked me to make the match, and G-Train wants to box him, and Phil Boyd, he's I'm a big fan of Phil personally and professionally, and I think he's not going to back down from a fight. He thinks this is his world. G-Train thinks it's his world. So Jesus Christ, I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. This is something that's going to be it's unsanctioned, but it's boxing rules, like, so,
Is there going to be judges, or is it just a ref?
There's going to be judges, but I don't think it'll go to the scorecard, put it that way. I don't think it'll go to the scorecard. I think they're both going to come out swinging. We have some extra security on that night as well to try and keep the two apart. Keep the two apart.
Oh my God.
Are you going to do like a weigh-in beforehand, like stand up?
I don't think so, because one of them would knock each other out. Like, it's that, because it's unsanctioned like that. I'd be afraid of my life to see what would happen. Like,
That's it. It might not even get that far.
it's getting good traction. In fairness, the Irish boxing board and all that kind of stuff for supporting it, and it's good to see a kind of it's good to see crossover like that in a local environment where we kind of we need it. Like, do you know what I mean? We need the extra bodies in to see the show and all that kind of stuff. So that's good. And I'm really looking forward to Gene Money making his debut as well, in a Lisa tables and chairs match, which is going to be kind of a little bit bonkers, but what you expect from a Phoenix show, you know what I mean?
100%. And come here to me, I'm not lying, Jay Money's taking the furniture home, isn't he? He's not partaking at all.
Well, we'll see. He's number one contender for Martina's Hard Knocks title, like, so, and speaking of which, she'll be back in Phoenix Wrestling on 15th of April, when we make our return to Cork. So we've a Good Friday show in the Circus Factory, which obviously you're more than welcome, and I hope to see you all there.
And
yes,
thankfully we can drink on Good Friday. We haven't got a chance to.
I know.
It's been 3 years since they announced it, but we never, because of the fucking pandemic, it fucked up all the Good Fridays we're supposed to have.
We had the first one in the Kino. We had the first one. It was he's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Yeah.
And it was a great night. It was a great night. Speaking of the Kino, I don't want to be fucking putting it out there before it's actually official, but I am talking to the Kino about a return. So fingers crossed that we may have a couple of dates during the summer. We'll see. Nothing's official yet, but I'll give you the scoop first. I'll give you the scoop as soon as we have anything to talk about. You know what I mean? But they're open to meeting up, and I'll be going out to Cork in the next week or so to sort it out, hopefully.
Do we have official name for the Good Friday show yet? Have we got a?
Yeah. How shall we fuck off, oh Lord? It was the show that didn't show. We had this booked 2 years ago when COVID just broke, and on Good Friday, and we refunded everybody and whatnot. But I said, fuck it, we're going with it again because it's such a good name. So how should we fuck off, oh Lord?
Totally.
And that's going to be some good stuff. But again, just coming back to the show on Saturday, we've got Terry Thatcher's making his return to Phoenix as well for the first time in 29 months. He's gunning for Justy, to be honest with you, but he's been away for so long. He can't just go straight in at the top of the title picture. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Reardon O'Connor tore the house down against Justy in Cork, like absolute
ridiculous,
barnstormer of a match. Yeah, absolutely. Like,
incredible
for a guy that's only wrestling a couple of years. Like, Reardon O'Connor is a fucking star. He's got it factor written all over him. So him and Terry Thatcher, like that's something. Just lads go up and have a great match. You know what I mean? It's gonna be great.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to put on an absolute showstopper of a match as well, because Reardon was so close in Cork, but then Terry Thatcher comes in and he's like currently full of bravado and his own importance. So I think that, you know, you've got two headstrongs there coming up against us. So they're going to absolute cracker of a match coming up.
Yep.
Lads, there's so much coming up in live wrestling here. To mind anything else is going on in the world. If you have not been to a Phoenix show, get to a Phoenix show. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. Get on it for this Saturday in St. John's in Limerick. We can vouch for it. Money well spent. You will not be more entertained, laugh, cry, shout, cheer, jeer, boo, fight more than you will at a Phoenix show. So get on it, get your tickets for Limerick, and don't forget the show that's coming up in Cork as well. It won't be a Good Friday. It's going to be a great Friday.
Absolutely.
So with that, guys, massive thanks for joining us in the middle of the week, just to get all the news out there, and of course to a huge shout out for Phoenix Wrestling Show this weekend. If you are not following us on Twitter or you haven't subscribed on YouTube, what are you doing? You're missing out, so get on it. Make sure you're following at Phoenix Wrestling as well on Twitter for all the scoop. Huge thanks again for Billy taking time out of his schedule to join us. We know he's super, super busy, and we really appreciate and love having him on. And so, yeah, he's welcome anytime, of course he is.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Sure, we love some, really. We love some. So with that, guys, from myself, Queen Lizzie, from himself, Booker G, 5 times. Phil Meltzer, he gets the scoop from Vincent K and Tony K. To mind him, Phil does all the writing, he just reports it. Give him a chance. He just wants one chance. It's the Michael Stone brand. Just one chance is all he wants. And of course, our one of only, Billy Bedlam. Guys, have a fabulous weekend. Enjoy what's coming up, and we'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.